You will hear a conversation between a man and a bicycle rental assistant. The man is renting a bicycle for the weekend. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10.
Good morning. I'd like to rent a bicycle for the weekend.
Good morning, sir. Certainly. Do you have a reservation with us?
No, right now, I don't have one. I was hoping to rent one today, if that's possible.
That's absolutely fine, sir. We do have several bikes available. May I take your name, please? Well, that is our procedure.
Sure, it's Arif Khan. That's Arif, and the last name is Khan.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Now, what type of bicycle are you looking for? We have mountain bikes, road bikes, and hybrids.
I think a hybrid would be the most suitable option for me. I'll be riding on a mix of paved city roads and some light countryside trails, so I need something versatile that can handle both comfortably.
Excellent choice, Mr. Khan. Hybrid bicycles are ideal for mixed terrain. They offer the comfort of a road bike with the durability needed for light trails. Now, just to make sure it suits your riding style, would you prefer a standard frame, which has a higher crossbar, or a step-through frame that's easier to mount and dismount?
I'd prefer a standard frame, actually. I'm quite comfortable with the traditional design, and I think it'll give me better control, especially when I'm riding on uneven surfaces.
Noted, Mr. Khan. And just to confirm the rental period, you're planning to use the bicycle over the weekend, starting from Saturday morning and returning it by Sunday evening, correct?
Yes, that's correct. I'll be picking up the bicycle on Saturday morning and returning it by Sunday evening, so it'll be a full weekend rental.
Perfect. Just to let you know, the rental fee for a hybrid bicycle is 1,200 rupees per day. In addition to that, we require a refundable security deposit of 3,000 rupees, which will be returned to you once the bicycle is returned in good condition.
That's absolutely fine. I was wondering, do you accept card payments? I find it more convenient than carrying cash, especially for deposits.
Yes, absolutely. We accept all major credit and debit cards, including Visa, MasterCard, and even some local bank cards. You're welcome to use whichever is most convenient for you.
Great, I'll go ahead and use my debit card for the payment. It's quick and convenient, and I usually prefer it over cash for transactions like this.
Would you like to include any accessories with your rental? We offer a range of add-ons such as helmets for safety, secure locks for parking, and front or rear lights if you'll be riding in low light conditions. Just let me know what you'd prefer.
I'll definitely need a helmet for safety, but I won't require a lock. I already have one that I usually use, so I'll just bring it along with me.
No problem. I'll include the helmet in your rental. And finally, I'll just need to see a valid form of ID, either your national ID card or driver's license, to complete the paperwork.
Yes, I've brought my ID card with me, so you can go ahead and use that for the paperwork. It's valid and up to date.
Perfect, Mr. Khan. That's everything I need from you for now. I'll go ahead and prepare the rental agreement, and your bicycle will be ready for collection at 9 o'clock sharp on Saturday morning. If you have any questions before then, feel free to give us a call.
Sounds good to me. I really appreciate your help with getting everything sorted so smoothly. It's reassuring to know the bike will be ready for pickup on time, and I'm looking forward to the ride this weekend. Thanks again for your assistance.
You're most welcome, Mr. Khan. Everything is set for your weekend ride, and I hope you have a fantastic time exploring. If you need anything during the rental period, don't hesitate to reach out. Enjoy your ride and stay safe.
That brings us to the end of Section 1. You now have some time to review your answers before we move on to Section 2. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 20. Before the recording begins, you will have some time to look through the questions. Please read questions 11 to 20 carefully.
Welcome to the Lahore Heritage Museum, and thank you for joining us today. Before you begin your self-guided tour, I'd like to provide a brief orientation to help you make the most of your visit. The museum is thoughtfully arranged into 3 principal galleries, each highlighting a distinct period in the region's rich history. The first gallery explores ancient civilizations, with a particular emphasis on the Indus Valley. You'll find excavated tools, pottery, and early trade artifacts, some dating back over 4,000 years. This section also includes interactive displays that explain urban planning and water management techniques used by these early societies. Moving on, the second gallery celebrates the grandeur of Mughal architecture and artistry. Here, you'll see intricately carved wooden panels, fresco replicas, and a stunning collection of miniature paintings. Don't miss the central exhibit, a scaled model of the Shalimar Gardens, complete with audio narration. The third gallery is devoted to modern history, tracing Pakistan's journey to independence and its evolving cultural identity. Exhibits include personal belongings of key historical figures, original newspaper clippings from 1947, and multimedia presentations on post-independence development. In addition to these permanent galleries, we also host rotating exhibitions in our temporary hall. At the moment, we're featuring a vibrant display of textile art from across South Asia, showcasing traditional weaving techniques, embroidery styles, and contemporary fabric installations. This exhibit will remain open until the end of the month. A few practical notes before you begin: photography is permitted throughout the museum, but we kindly ask that you refrain from using flash, as it can damage sensitive materials. Restrooms are located just to the left of the main entrance, and our cafe offering light snacks and beverages is situated on the second floor, accessible by both stairs and elevator. For those interested in a more structured experience, guided tours are available every hour on the hour, starting from 10 a.m. Alternatively, you may opt for an audio guide, which is available in English, Urdu, and Punjabi. These can be collected from the information desk near the entrance. We hope you enjoy your visit. If you have any questions or require assistance at any point, please don't hesitate to speak with one of our staff members, who'll be happy to help.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 30. You now have half a minute to look through the questions before the recording begins. Please read questions 21 to 30 carefully.
Hey Bilal, I've been meaning to ask, have you had a chance to think about what we should do for the science fair this year? I know the deadline's coming up soon, and I thought it might be a good idea to start narrowing down our options. There are so many interesting topics we could explore, but I'd love to hear what ideas you've got in mind first.
I've been giving it some thought, and I'm leaning toward a project that focuses on renewable energy. What do you think about designing a solar-powered water purifier? It's practical, environmentally conscious, and could really stand out at the science fair. Plus, it would give us a chance to explore how solar panels can be used to power filtration systems, something that's especially useful in areas with limited access to clean water.
That's actually a brilliant idea. It's not only practical and easy to demonstrate, but also incredibly relevant to the kind of global issues people are facing today, especially in terms of clean water access and sustainable energy. I think a solar-powered water purifier would really stand out at the science fair, and it shows that we're thinking beyond just the technical side. It's about solving real-world problems. Plus, it's something the judges will likely appreciate because it combines innovation with social impact. I'm totally on board with this.
Exactly, I was thinking the same. We could definitely build a small working prototype using basic, easy-to-source materials. Something simple but effective, like a transparent container for the water chamber, a basic solar panel to power the filtration unit, and maybe a charcoal or sand-based filter to demonstrate the purification process. It wouldn't cost much, and it would clearly show how renewable energy can be applied to solve real-world problems. Plus, having a physical model will make our presentation more engaging and easier for the judges to understand.
I'll take care of the research side of things. I'm happy to dig into the background information, gather relevant data, and look into how solar purification systems work in different parts of the world. You've always been great with the technical side, so I'm hoping you can handle the design and construction of the prototype. Between the two of us, I think we've got a solid team. Does that sound good to you?
Sure, I'll start by sketching out a rough design for the prototype and figuring out which components we'll need to make it work. I'm thinking we'll need a small solar panel, a water container, and some basic filtration materials, maybe activated charcoal, sand, and a mesh screen. I'll also look into how we can connect everything efficiently so the solar energy powers the filtration process smoothly. Once I've got the layout sorted, I'll share it with you and we can refine it together.
We should definitely prepare a poster that clearly explains the science behind how the solar-powered water purifier works. It'll help people understand the concept at a glance, especially those who might not be familiar with renewable energy or filtration systems. We can include diagrams showing how sunlight is converted into electrical energy, and how that energy powers the purification process. Maybe we can also add a brief comparison between traditional water filters and solar-powered ones, just to highlight the advantages. A well-designed poster will make our project look more professional and informative.
That's a really good point. Including statistics on global water scarcity would definitely strengthen our project and show that we've done thorough research. We could highlight how many people around the world still lack access to clean drinking water, and then explain how solar energy offers a sustainable solution, especially in remote or underdeveloped areas. If we present data from credible sources, like the World Health Organization or UN reports, it'll make our poster more informative and persuasive. It's a great way to connect our prototype to real-world challenges and show its potential impact.
Perfect. So, when do you think we should meet next to start working on everything? I'm free most afternoons this week, so if you've got a day in mind, we can set a time and begin planning the layout, gathering materials, and dividing up the tasks. The sooner we get started, the more time we'll have to test the prototype and polish our presentation. We could highlight how many people around the world still lack access to clean drinking water, and then explain how solar energy offers a sustainable solution, especially in remote or underdeveloped areas. If we present data from credible sources, like the World Health Organization or UN reports, it'll make our poster more informative and persuasive. It's a great way to connect our prototype to real-world challenges and show its potential impact.
How about we meet on Saturday afternoon? That should give us enough time during the weekend to sit down, go over the design sketches, and start gathering the materials we'll need for the prototype. If we can block out a couple of hours, we might even be able to begin assembling the basic structure. Let me know if that works for you, or if there's another time that's more convenient.
Works for me. Saturday afternoon sounds like a good starting point. If we stay focused, I think we can make solid progress and aim to have the prototype fully assembled by next week. That'll give us enough time to test it, make any adjustments, and prepare the poster and presentation materials. Let's set that as our goal and work backwards from there to stay on track.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Section 4. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. You now have half a minute to read the questions before the recording begins. Lecturer Robert is giving lecture about the psychology of decision making. You have to listen him to answer questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today's lecture explores a topic that's not only fascinating from a psychological perspective, but also incredibly relevant to our everyday lives, the psychology of decision making. Whether we realize it or not, we're constantly making decisions. In fact, research suggests that the average adult makes over 35,000 decisions each day. While many of these are minor, like choosing what to wear or which route to take to work, others are far more significant, involving long-term consequences and emotional weight. Let's begin by considering the types of decisions we make. Broadly speaking, decisions can be categorized as either routine or complex. Routine decisions are those we make almost automatically, often without much conscious thought. For example, brushing your teeth or checking your phone notifications. These are shaped by habits, social norms, and environmental cues. Complex decisions, on the other hand, require deliberate thought, evaluation of options, and often involve uncertainty. Think of choosing a university, accepting a job offer, or deciding whether to move to a new city. Now, one of the most influential factors in decision-making is emotion. Contrary to the traditional view that decisions should be purely rational, modern psychology shows that emotions are deeply intertwined with how we evaluate choices. For instance, fear tends to trigger risk avoidance. When someone feels anxious about a potential outcome, they're more likely to choose the safer, more familiar option, even if it's not the most beneficial in the long run. On the flip side, emotions like excitement or overconfidence can lead to impulsive decisions. These are choices made quickly, often without fully considering the consequences. A classic example is impulse buying, purchasing something because it feels good in the moment, even if it's not needed. Another major influence comes from cognitive biases. These are mental shortcuts or tendencies that can distort our thinking and lead us away from rational judgment. One of the most well-known is the confirmation bias. This occurs when individuals seek out information that supports their existing beliefs and ignore or dismiss evidence that contradicts them. For example, someone who believes that a particular diet is effective might only read articles that support that view, while disregarding scientific studies that challenge it. This bias can be particularly problematic in areas like politics, health decisions, and even hiring practices. Closely related is the availability heuristic. This refers to the tendency to base decisions on information that is most recent, vivid, or emotionally charged, rather than the most accurate or representative. For instance, after hearing about a plane crash on the news, a person might overestimate the danger of flying, even though statistically, air travel remains one of the safest modes of transportation. This heuristic is powerful because our brains are wired to respond to emotionally intense or memorable events, even if they're rare. Let's now shift our focus to decision-making in professional settings, particularly in business and management. In these environments, decisions often involve multiple stakeholders, financial implications, and long-term planning. To navigate this complexity, organizations use structured models such as cost-benefit analysis. This involves listing the potential advantages and disadvantages of each option and weighing them against each other. It's a logical approach that helps clarify trade-offs and prioritize outcomes. Another widely used tool is scenario planning. This technique involves imagining different future scenarios, both positive and negative, and developing strategies for each. For example, a company might plan for scenarios where market demand increases, decreases, or remains stable. By preparing for multiple possibilities, organizations can remain flexible and resilient in the face of uncertainty. However, even with these models, human judgment is still vulnerable to bias and emotional influence. That's why many experts recommend incorporating reflective thinking into decision-making processes. Reflective thinking involves pausing to evaluate our assumptions, question our reasoning, and consider alternative perspectives. It's about slowing down the decision process to ensure that choices are not just reactive, but thoughtful and well-informed. In addition to reflection, feedback mechanisms can also improve decision quality. Seeking input from others, whether colleagues, mentors, or experts, can help identify blind spots and challenge flawed reasoning. Group discussions, peer reviews, and collaborative planning sessions are all examples of how feedback can enhance decision-making. Finally, it's important to recognize that cultural and social factors also shape our decisions. Cultural norms influence what we consider acceptable or desirable, while social pressures can push us toward conformity. For example, in some cultures, collective decision-making is valued more than individual autonomy. Understanding these influences can help us become more aware of the context in which our decisions are made. To sum up, decision-making is a complex process influenced by a wide range of psychological factors, emotions, cognitive biases, social norms, and cultural expectations. By becoming more aware of these influences, we can learn to make better, more rational choices. Whether we're managing a team, planning a project, or simply navigating daily life, understanding the psychology of decision-making empowers us to act with greater clarity, confidence, and purpose.
That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers.